Very good morning, friends of Make It Lab. Today we are going to record this unboxing of the Epson F170, a machine that has become one of the most popular in the sublimation market. And why? Firstly, because it offers us the quality of Epson, right? Epson, I think no one is going to doubt the quality of this brand in terms of printers. They have been in the market for a long time, and this is their small format sublimation printer, which guarantees us that it is going to have good colors if you work with it correctly, working on it with their profiles, working on it obviously with their inks. We're going to do this unboxing. We're going to take it out. We are going to see how to prepare it to connect properly to our computer so that we can have the good results that this Epson printer can offer us. This, I call it, this is like a plain printer. We are no longer talking just about an adapted normal printer. We are talking about a printer made specially for sublimation. So let's start to bring out the star of this video, which is this F170. I tell you, working on it with its profiles, downloading all its drivers, we are going to guarantee the good results that this printer gives us in terms of color. So let's see what you've got here to start working. You will find your warranty and your installation guide. Well, I'm going to lean in a little bit so that you can see how it comes. Here comes the printer. Everything comes well packaged. Let's see what we have here. Okay, here comes our kit that Epson offers us. It's the 4 colors. They are. The key is the T49M1. Here we have the black. We have the magenta. We have the yellow. And cyan. Then we have these. They come in a presentation of 140 milliliters. So we're going to get on this side. What else does this box come with? Your power cord for the printer. This little box doesn't have anything else in it. Let's put it on this side. And now we are going to take out the star of this video. Let me tell you, it comes very well packed, so it doesn't get bumped. And here comes our printer. Let's put it on this side. There's nothing else in the box. There are your 2 unicels. And look, I'm going to present them to you so that you can see it from the front. This is the super printer, Epson F170. Now, I don't know about you, but I am one of those people who feels bad when removing all these blues, but it's necessary. It has to be done. Here it comes well glued all over. Here comes your bag. Let's leave this aside. And now, yes, here it is. This is the new F170, which has really changed a little bit the way we used to look at sublimation. It makes it a little bit easier for us to get good colors. So we are going to start filling it up. Well, let's start with this process to start filling the tanks. Let's remove all the blue ribbons that it comes with, which are for safety, so that when it comes time to transport it, you're not going to have any problems. Here we still have a tape on this side. In order to remove it, we have to lift the lid. We're going to lift it up until we hear that click. And then we're going to remove the tape that is on the head carriage. Now you can say that we got rid of all the blue ribbons that are on it. The blue ribbons that are on it. So we can close it and continue our process. As I was saying, you have to read a little bit of the instructions, and the brand recommends shake our ribbons at least 15 times. So let's make sure we shake them well. Let's shake them well so that there are no seats in this part of our boat. To fill them, you have to open our main lid, remember? Until you hear this click. This click. You open and there's the click. Once you hear the click, your lid is not going to come down. Lid. In case you don't get to hear that full click we are talking about, your lid will close. Then we open it, the click, and then it's perfect. Once we get the printer main lid off, we can lift our lid. If you notice here, this is where it tells us that we have to shake our jars at least 15 times. I gave it more or less 30 seconds by color, obviously. Then you have to give it a good shake to remove any thick residue that might be there and can get lodged later in our print heads. That is what we don't want, so give it a good shake to avoid any of these problems on our print heads. Here it also tells us with colors which one goes in which tank, so let's not make a mistake. Pay close attention to this step, because if we don't, we can ruin our printer. Let's start from the left side with the black color. So here, if we take a closer look, here we have a little slot that indicates that we can open the bag from there. We open it, all the compressed air comes out. And here we have these famous Epson bottles that are ready for you to, in order for you to empty it directly into your tanks. Look, I'm going to show it up close. It is important that you see here, it also indicates each color that we are going to put. If you notice, our bottle has these little shapes that we're going to fit. Here has the shape of the bottle so that we just put it in. Once we place it there, it will drain by itself under the force of gravity without any squeezing. And we don't have to help it in any way. So that is the first thing we are going to do. I am going to move the camera away again to start doing it myself. But you guys have already seen how this move is going to go. If you notice here, then later on you can feel it going down. So now that it's here in this position, you just have to squeeze a little bit more. And by itself, it will do its function. In fact, here you can hear a very particular noise. So you will notice it as you go along. This system, what it does is that you no longer throw away any ink. Before it was a very dirty process to do. You even had to apply it with syringes. So this is one of the great advantages that these little bottles give us, because this way we are going to be able to fill little by little. And we won't have problems with spills, because as soon as I take it out, you see, it doesn't have any problem. I'm going to clean up a little bit what might have spilled out. And we're going to leave it on this side. Why? Because the first load that our machine is going to make is going to bring down a good amount of ink. So once you have made the first load, the next thing we're going to do is fill it up a little bit more. That is now with the cyan. Be very carefully. Here we are indicating the cyan. Be very careful with that. It may sound repetitive what I'm saying, but it is quite important that we realize that, because then you may realize it once it is too late. And there would be nothing more to do. The truth is that we still have a good amount of ink left over. I think we can easily put another charge in. The level is up to here. Once the first load of the ink is done, the tanks will empty a little bit, so as soon as it comes out, we are going to add a little bit more of the ink that we have, and that would be enough. So now we can see that we already have our 4 levels at the top. We can now close all of the 4 compartments that we have here. And then we can close once again our printer. Okay, so now, what would be our next step in this process? Our next step is now to actually bring it to life. That is to say, connect it to the power supply. We have this famous wire that we can find in practically all of the electronics we know. It's a wire. If it's long, that's very good. So we are going to connect this one through the back here, which is where our cable is connected. We connect it, and the most exciting moment. The most exciting moment to see how it is born. And here we have already our printer turned on. This panel that we can put or arrange according to how we want it. In this case, we are going to leave it this way so that you can see these steps. The first thing we are going to do is to configure the language. In this case, I am going to put it in Spanish. We are going to choose OK, and it is already processing it. Well, here it is telling us. Consult the installation guide sheet to complete the initialization. What this sheet is telling us is that we must press the help button, which is this one you see right here with a question mark, for 5 seconds. Once we've done that, our printer confirms that it has changed the panel, and it asks us to confirm that the cartridges are full of ink. We've already filled them. They're above the last line. That tells us how to do it and done. Then we are going to press the OK, and it's done. Here it is telling us that it is going to take approximately 14 minutes. We're going to leave here the little timer running so you can see. Wow, Epson's got it. Very measured. Right at 14 minutes and at 14 minutes. It popped up a new message on screen that says initialization is complete and to continue to print setup. Let's come back here and it tells us to go check the print setup that is mentioned. We say OK. A new message says adjust the printer to ensure good print quality. It says adjust later or recommended adjustment. Then here at the moment we have to put sheets to our printer. Here comes something important, and it is this part. Printers always have these symbols that we see here, and here it's telling us that as we put the sheet in, the side that is going to print has to be facing down, so you need to check that these are our settings to fit sheets of different sizes. And what we're going to do is press this clip that it has and slide it outward so that we can put in our sheets. Once they're in, we're just going to press, and we are going to adjust it so that they are just in place for our paper sheets and that they do not have a movement or an offset at the time of breaking it. We put our tray back in. It says print a nozzle check pattern. This is done to check if the nozzles are not clogged so we don't have problems later. Then we check the option. Okay, here is the option print or print later. We are going to print now. So it says load paper. We load it. We tell it to print. This tray is the one that receives the sheets. Then we're going to take it out. We are going to notice that all the colors are printing correctly and perfectly. We don't have any problems with that. Adjustment completed. It says you can redo the adjustment from maintenance. We confirm. And our printer is ready to start using it. Here we are going to configure the Wi-Fi. Here we move again with the cursor. We are going to configure the Wi-Fi. It says network connection settings. We are going to put the one above, which is with a router. Connection method recommended when a Wi-Fi router is available at the place you work. In this case, we do have one. We start the configuration. Wizard for the Wi-Fi installation. Here we are going to follow all the steps that it mentions. The papers is my network. And there we are going to enter the password. This message here is saying Wi-Fi setup completed. Print the connection check report for obtaining more details. This message says there is a new firmware version. Update the firmware from the setup menu. Confirm and confirm. Then we have our printer ready. Now it is ready to start working. We get out. And we are ready. If we want to have our firmware with the latest version, we will go to configuration. We are going to look for where it says firmware update at the end of this list. We press update. Start verification. It says that a new firmware was found. Then we tell it to update. Now we press the option yes. And it's going to start its upgrade process. Remember that these printers, when they're packaged up, they've been in storage for a while. So for the new versions of Design, Photoshop, Illustrator, all these programs that are coming out, it's good to have it updated. It is good to have it updated. There are times when, while things are working, it is better not to move anything. In this case, since it's the first time, I want to have it with the latest, the most updated, so I can start working. It tells us that the product does not appear when the update is finished. The product will automatically shut down. So let's wait for it to go through the entire upgrade process. And come back. That's it, the process is finished. It was very fast indeed, so now we are all done and we have our new Epson printer ready to start working with it. Let's put it in its place. And then we will start working with it. Later we will show you the capabilities of this great machine, this excellent equipment. So I hope you liked it. I hope you understood it. Any questions you may have, please feel free to comment, send us a message for any questions that have come up along the way. Thank you very much. We are Make It Lab. See you next time.